Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. It's new build day today from the folks over at Agora Models. We have now got pack 1 of the Steve McQueen's Porsche 917 KH for the film Le Mans. Now, if you haven't seen Le Mans, it's actually filmed at the 1977 Le Mans race, and obviously they sort of like hijacked the race to make production of the film. But this is a great resemblance to the actual car that Steve McQueen drives, and that's what we're going to be building here. Now, Agora Models post this worldwide, so if you want to get hold of this, I have put the link down here in the video description also, just to let you know where you can get this from. Now, when you order from Agora Models, you can have this over 12 or 24 months. You've got the Agora Promise, which basically says that if they release a product, they will complete it through to fruition. And you've also got the Agora Advantage Club. So if you have ordered any models from Agora Models before, and I'm doing them all, you can get discounts on your next one. But we're going to be doing pack 1 today. So let me show you what we're doing first off. Without further ado, let's get cracking. So you've got the guide that comes in this looking like that. Absolutely lovely vehicle. Tells you all about the vehicle there. The Le Mans 24 race. If I turn it over, everything I just told you about the Agora Promise and the Agora Vantage Club is on the back there. And then this opens out into an absolutely brilliant poster, which has become sort of like the standard now for Agora Models. I believe all of their builds now come with these posters, so quite handy. No room to display it in the workshop, but I'm sure I'll find a place for that. So pack 1, let me just show you what's in stage 1. So quite a few parts in stage 1. We've got some details of the bodywork here, which we're not going to be using, but we are going to be creating the headlight here. And we have got a screwdriver for that purpose. I'm probably going to use my own screwdriver for that though. But that is what that looks like. Now, all the instructions for this are on the Agora Models website. You just go to the download center and you'll be able to click on the instructions. They're in PDF format, so you can follow them along as and when you need them. So there is everything opened up. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the headlight. So to do that, we need the frame, which has already got the reflector in, just like that. We're going to put the lens on the top. Now, as you can see, the lens has got its own detailing itself, so it needs to be that way round. And quite simply, all we're going to do is we're going to push it in to the holes that we've got on the side. This has got lugs either side here, or one lug actually. Push that in. That's going to hold itself in, no problems at all. Now, this whole thing is going to go into this surround here. We're just going to put that in. Oops, fell down this way because it has got a locating lug in there. It's going to help you align that. So it's going to go in just like that. And it's going to be secured in from this side here with a BP screw. Just like that. And now that is attached to that. Now when you are screwing into plastic parts, you don't have to over tighten the screw. That should be absolutely perfect in there. Now we've got this bezel, which looks like that. That's going to just align to the 3 holes that we can just see in there like that. We have got 3 lugs on this. So quite simply, just line it up and then push that into place. And you want to make sure that's fitting lovely and flush in there, so it looks like that from that side and that from that side. We can put that to one side because we are now going to create another lens just with these 2 points here. Quite simply, this is just going to go on top here. Now basically the best way to put this in is to actually put the lens in first, so you can ensure it's going to be round the right way. So it's pointing upwards. There's got a little detail on there. And then offer this reflector section to that, making sure that's in the correct position there. Top tip. So just lining that up and then push that in. And now I know that's in the correct position. That's going to just be held in with an AP screw. Just into this hole down the bottom here. Perfect. So that is the left headlight completed. We do have a headlight surround. That looks like that. We don't actually use that in this stage, but it will be going over the top, I'm guessing, like that. So I'll keep the protective plastic on it. And as I said before, we have got some parts of the bodywork, which again, we don't use in this stage. These are all metal. So as you can imagine, they're quite heavy. Now in pack 2, as you can see, we've got our first wheel, and we're also going to be working on the steering. So quite simply, the first thing, just so you know, these are again metal. We're going to be putting the steering into this section. It can only go in one way because it hasn't got a shaped end here. That's going to go in just like this. And then that's held in from this side with an AM screw. Now if this is the first time you're watching my channel, then anything with a M at the end of it normally means we're going into metal. So I do put the screw in a little bit of oil just to help with that being screwed in. Now, if I want to get this tighter, I will use my heavy-duty screwdriver, and I can get that in as tight as I possibly can. So now that is one piece there on the steering wheel. We got the cover just to put on the end there. Put that on my finger. That looks like that. So once again, just push that down into the middle, and now that's one complete steering wheel. So we can put that to one side. We're going to work on the wheel now. So we've got this lovely big Firebird tyre looking like that on both sides, and quite simply all we're going to be doing is on one side of this just checking that there is a side and in. Sometimes they have inner and outer. I'm just looking at that. I'm guessing it's this side, so there, if it doesn't fit in when we do this section, it means that the tyre's around the wrong way, but I'm guessing that section's going to fit in there because you can see it's gone below the rim there, which means that when I turn this over and I'm going to offer it with the other metal part of the rim, and these are metal, I'm just going to line up these holes. So it's going to be going around this way. We should be able to fit that in absolutely perfectly. Now these are going to be held in just with some BM screws. There we go, that's one. You've got to love the detail on this, especially with that little valve in there. I think that's excellent. Here's number 2. Again, we're going into metal, so I've put oil on this. Now, unlike most other builds that I've done, where you have to soften these tyres up, you don't have to do that on this one. But if it won't fit, trust me, you've got the rims in the wrong way. Just flip them around. So there we go, that's the wheel done. And that, with the steering wheel that we completed, is all there is to do in that stage. Before we go away though, bear in mind we do have this little part here, which is going to be used later on. Okay, in stage 3, we're going to be working on the first part of the suspension. So I'll get all of these pieces out, and I'm going to be methodical when I do this. So basically we need this section here, which is the hub carrier joint and the upper control arm. So I'm going to take this linkage here, just going to go in between these 2 points here. Now these are metal. Everything you see me using now is metal. Going to line them up because we're going to be putting a DM screw just through this side. Now I have put that in some oil. The DM screws are quite long, so that's going to go in there. And then my advice, lie it down, otherwise you're going to add to my accident board tally, and just start that off in there. There we go, and then that's going all the way through. Otherwise, there's a danger you could slip off this straight into your finger. And how many times have we done that on the channel? A lot. Okay, so once that's all the way into place, we've got the hub carrier top here. That looks just like this. We're going to be putting this section just into the end like that. That's going to be held in with a CM screw. So just notice the orientation that I'm doing this at. So obviously this longer end here is this way round. We can just put that to one side because we need the lower control arm bracket, which looks like that. Going to have it this way round. And then we've got 2 brackets which are exactly the same size here to put in. Now there are 2 that look similar left in the box there, but it's these 2 here. Once again, they're just going to go on the ends here and the other side here. So I'll get one in this side and secure that, and then we'll do exactly the same on the other side. We just need part of the shock absorber now, and we're going to be putting a lower bracket on that. And this is the smallest bracket you've got at the moment, so that's just going to go in there like that. Once again, DM screw. And get that all the way through. Now the shock is just going to go into this control arm, just into that point there, and that's held in from the underside with a BM screw. You've got to love the level of detail on this build. Once again, all of these parts that we're working on are metal. So there we go, that's the shock in. Just put that way, and we've got another little bracket to put on the end here, which is going to go into this point like that. Once again, held in with a DM screw. This time that screw's coming in from this side. Be careful to distinguish between the DM and the EM screws, because they are very similar. There we go. That looks just like that. We now got this bracket to put in. Again, metal. It's just going to go into the end like that, held in with the flange CM screw. Just like this. Get that all the way in. Make sure that's nice and tight. And then this section that we've just created here is just going to be fitting on top of the section we made first, just on here like that, and that's going to be held in with BM screws. So one there and one on this side. So that's what that finished section there should look like. I'm going to put that to one side because we just need to take out the other shock bracket here, put another bracket just on the end here, and then we're going to be putting an EM screw just into this side. And there we go, that's in place, ready for later on. Again, we can put that to one side because all we've got to do now is we're going to be working on one of the brake discs. We do have a spring in this which we need to keep safe for a later time. That comes far later in the build, so keep that in a box or something. But with the discs, all we're going to do is take the disc that looks like this, remove the adhesive off the back. There you go. And then just stick that to this side of the disc over the top here. Perfect. We're going to do the same thing on this side of the disc. So once again, take the stickiness off and put that over the top here. And then quite simply, we're just going to be linking these two parts together. And we have got some locating lugs. One of them is bigger than the other one, so it does dictate where we're putting this. 1 and 2. You heard that click in then. And then we're just going to hold that in with 2 screws here, which are CP screws. These are quite tiny, but as you can see, they go in quite easily for that. And then once again, I've got this one in. We just want to keep that safe because that's all there is to do in this stage. Now in stage 4, we're working on the right side of the gearbox and the transmission joint. So I'll take this body out and show you that. Again, all metal, already been pre-painted for us. So that looks excellent. And we're just going to be putting the right side mounting bracket onto this. That looks just like this here. As you can see, we've got 2 locating lugs in there. So it's going to dictate what way round it goes. It's going to fit in just like that. And it's held in with a BM screw. So just through the hole on this side here, BM screw all the way down to make that nice and tight. Perfect. We're now going to make a cross piece. This can be quite fiddly. So I need these 2 parts here, and when we put these together, I need to make sure, if I just get them in loosely, that the other sides are facing up so I can get to them like that. But we need to put FM screws through each side of this to hold these into place. So best way is to just line them up, put the screw in gently to hold one side in, and then just do the same on the other side to hold the other side in. And then that's when you can actually put the force on this and get them all the way in. Again, these are the things that will take your fingers off. And when that's on, it should look just like that. Now the open side of that is going to go into this bracket here. So that's just going to go over the top. Once again, held in with FM screws. That's 1. And just 1 on the other side. And that one's 2. Perfect. So we have got a joint there. We're going to put this into one of the inner flex discs. which look just like that. Now it has got a semicircular hole which can only fit in one way there, held in from this side with an FM screw. Basically get that in as tight as you can get it, so that's not going anywhere. We then just got the cover to put on for this, so this is just going to go in this way like that, and again that's held in this time with GM screws. Perfect. And then in the other holes that you can see in here, we're just going to be putting this bracket. Again, this is metal, and that's just going to go into this side like that. Once again, held in with the GM screws. So one there, and just one on this side. Perfect. All we're going to do then is with this square end there, that is going to be going into this hole that we can see here. So this is just going to be going onto the side of the engine this way round, like that. And it's going to be held in from this side with a CM screw. Now, so just make sure that the long end's facing up and down on this. Got my screwdriver here. It's a heavy duty screwdriver because you want to make sure this is as tight as you can get it. And there we go. That's in lovely and tight there. Not moving anywhere, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage here, we're going to be working on the underside of the gearbox and the starting system here. So I'll get all of these parts out. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking the support bracket and the gearbox support lever. Which is this tiny piece here. That's going to go into the end. So I'm just going to push that in. It's a semicircular hole, so it can only go in one way like that. We've got the stabilizing rod here. That's going to go into the hole at the top. Perfect. So now that looks like that. The other side's just going into the hole that we've got on top of this bracket here. Again, just check out the level of detail in this. Perfect. So that looks like that. I love that. Bring over what we worked on last time. This is just going to go into the end here. Once again, we have got a locating lug, so it's going to go in that way, just like that, held in from this side with a JM screw. And there we go, that's in absolutely perfectly. We've got the mounting bracket to put on the back here. That looks like this. So it fits in just like that. And that's going to be held in once again with JM screws. We need 3 this time. So one in here. Now this mounting bracket is going to aid putting this whole transmission unit together when we get the other side. So I'll put all 3 of these screws into place. Put that to one side. We're going to work on the starter coil now. So we're going to be taking this section that looks just like that, putting the first cylinder on the bottom, then the solenoid on the top. They're just pushing in. I'm just making sure they're in as far as I can get them, so it's one piece like that. That's perfect. And then we're going to be mounting this to the other side of the transmission here. That's just going to go into this point just here, and that's held in with a HM screw. As you can see, that's in there. Just tighten this up as much as I can. And there you go, that starter is going nowhere. So then I'm going to piece this bottom part to what we've created here. So as you can see, these holes here, it's going to line up with the holes on this side here. So that's just going to go underneath, just like this. Making sure it's complete in one piece. Perfect. And we're going to hold them in with BM screws. Once again, it's taking 3 of these BM screws. And I want to make sure these are as tight as I can get them, to minimise any gap that we've got between these 2 sections here. As you can see, there's hardly any seam around that now. Excellent. Put that to one side, and we've just got the rear crankcase cover here. We've got some details to put on that. We've got this tiny little one here, which looks like that. It's hard to show you. That's going to go just into the hole that we've got just down the bottom there. So I'll get that lined up and pushed in. So that's in like that. And then we're just going to take this little tiny piece here. And that's just going to go into this section, making sure we put it round the right way. It has got locating lugs in there to help you out. Just push that into these positions here. So now that looks like that. Now we don't actually attach this to the engine yet, but we do have another bracket as well. So with those parts there, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So a quick review of pack 1. As you can see, we've got the transmission we've been working on. We've been working on the suspension. We've got a spring left over from that, which will go in later on. And we've got the other shock arm there, which I'll put there. We've done the complete first wheel, looking like that. We've done a brake disc, which looks like that. We've got this little part here, which we haven't put in yet. We'll put that in later, so we need to keep that safe. The steering wheel, which looks like that. And then finally, we've done the headlight. We've got the lens here. I'm just keeping those safe to one side, and we'll start putting all of this together. Not to mention the fact that we've got these lovely detailing body pieces here. But what an excellent way to start this pack off. Now, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, and remember, this is shipped worldwide, just follow the link down here, and also in the video description, you can get this all the way from pack 1, and follow me along while I'm doing this build. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.